Okay, so here we are again, round 5. I hate to say this, but I just uploaded a video recently. I did replacement springs for the Kansept Main Street that came from Kansept. And even after doing the adjustments, replacing the springs, I would say marginal at best. I mean, effective and doable. Unfortunately, I then found this envelope down here on the table, opened it, and realized this was actually the package that came from Kansept. The package that I opened up with the springs that I put in just recently, I guess was a separate order from Amazon for just replacement Omega springs, like bug out springs. So unfortunately, the springs I put in were not actually the ones from Kansept, so maybe it's not fair of me at this point to say, hey, this is as good as it gets. Now, I will tell you, I don't hold out a lot of high hopes. Since I haven't put the Kansept springs in, I feel like we should. And get this, at least we can finally say this is as good as it gets. So here we are again. We're going to try one more time. These are the actual Kansept springs. These are the original springs. These are the replacement springs that I just tried. So these are the ones we're going to try. They don't feel any different, or they don't feel any larger than these, but they do seem to have, these are the ones from Amazon. You can see that tweaking. Here, maybe you can see it here. Okay. These are the ones from Kansept. You can see there, same pressure, much less movement. Here is the originals. So we're gonna go one more time. So stick with me. Here we are. That actually went smoother than I've ever had. Took off the show scale, replaced the spring. Then I put the scale back on, used the pivot tool, took these 2 screws out, took off the clip side, replaced the spring, put it back on, put these 2 back in, then managed to get the pivot back in. So nothing fell apart. Shocking at best. We just need to put the pivot back in. I did load this up with some Loctite just yesterday. I guess we'll clean that off and then maybe do some fresh Loctite on it so that when we do get this, hopefully we're happy. Let's get the pocket clip back on because that makes a difference in terms of the handling. Okay. Not quite centered. So let's see what happens if we make some of the, do we need to keep it as loose as we've had? Now let's see if tightening these makes any difference. So definitely not centered. So let's try the old bug out trick, which is to loosen the pivot, get a wedge in there, loosen your body screws, tighten your pivot, tight as you can go, then bringing down your body screws and releasing it. Now we're nice and centered, but I can't even move the blade. It's hilarious. Back it out a little bit at a time. As you can see here, look at that, no detent. It's still centered. You know, as I loosen the body screws, I could actually feel like a little popping. I wonder if the flex in these scales puts pressure across that spring. Centered. Blade play, none. Pivot move. Okay, that's where I'm getting the pivot movement. So I just went a hair too far. Okay, none. Okay, so we're all done. We now officially have the Kansept replacement springs for the Main Street. Good action, holding in well, no blade play. That was round 5. I think in the end, it's a cool knife, looks good. I wish it had contoured scales. I wish it came with stronger springs out the gate, because a lot of knife owners just aren't going to be willing to do all the tweaking. Now it's time to carry this for a bit, and let's see if how we like these phosphor washers compared to the bearings. I guess it's always possible we could end up with a round 6 where I put the bearings back in. But honestly, the bearings, the knife, the blade would just drop so fast that it was just, it felt like just waiting to cut you. So there we have it. Thanks, guys. Take care. Thanks for joining us today, and hit that subscribe button. See you soon.